What's up, YouTube? It's John here, and we are back with the UFC videos. Let's go. I've been waiting for this next pay-per-view to come out, and this is a good one. And before I get into that, obviously you might be wondering, oh, John, where are you at right now? This is my second dorm. I moved into here a few weeks ago, but this is the first time you guys are seeing me here, so I mean, it's not really much to see right now because I'm not showing much for, obvious reasons. But yeah, it's new dorm. But anyways, let's get back to what, you guys came for. UFC 299, banger card, insanely stacked from top to bottom. But yeah, I'm just gonna just talk about the main card because this card is so stacked. You could make like two cards out of this anyway, and they'd both be fire. So yeah, the first fight is Peter Yan versus Song Yadong, and this is a interesting fight. Kind of a veteran versus a newer person, but Song Yadong, he still has more fights than Peter Yan, so, and he's not really new. He's been in the UFC for a while, so I think it's just his age that's, makes him like seem like he's the younger. But yeah, this is gonna be a good fight. Obviously Peter Yan, he's coming off of 3 losses, even though, two of those losses they could have asterisks. A lot of people think he won, both Aljamain Sterling fight and the Sean O'Malley fight. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I think he won either of those fights because, obviously Aljamain controlled him for a while, and then Sean O'Malley, knocked him down. He was keeping up with him in the striking. The only legit loss that was like no one can say didn't lose was the Marab fight. But regardless, 3 losses is gonna affect your confidence. So we'll have to see, what version of him shows up because he's obviously had a long layoff. And yeah, he's fighting another young and hungry dude. So this is not an easy fight for him. But I think skill for skill, I think Peter Yan's better right now. I think he's, better boxer. I think he's better kicks, just all around game. I think he could beat Song. I think it'll go to decision, but yeah, I think he beats Song and rights the ship, gets back in the win column. And the next fight, welterweight banger, Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena. We got a Australian prospect, another Aussie, Maddalena or Jack, undefeated in the UFC so far, and he's tough. He's been knocking out everybody except, obviously his last 2 fights with the short notice guy and Kevin Holland, which is obviously respectable. And yeah, he looks good. He looks like, if he gets his wrestling right, he could be a problem for anyone in the division. And with Gilbert Burns, obviously he's coming off of a loss to Bilal Muhammad, and he's coming off of a shoulder injury in that fight as well. So maybe that was the reason why he lost. I don't know, but maybe it would have went different. But regardless, I don't know about Burns' future because he's taken, I think, 2 losses out of his last 4, and he's 37. So he doesn't have much time left to get back in the title picture because he's gonna have to get at least 2 solid wins, I think, to get back in the title picture. And Jack is not going to be an easy win. And honestly, I think the career trajectories, I'm going to have to go with Jack here. I think Jack, his boxing is too tough. And I think Gilbert's going to welcome a standing battle. I don't think he's going to try to take him down. And I think that's going to be the, downfall of him in this fight. And I think Jack is going to piece him up and find a knockout. I think round 2. That's my prediction. And moving on, we got another welterweight banger, Kevin Holland versus MVP Michael Venom Page, the new signing, the Bellator guy. Definitely hyped about him being in the UFC. He's like one of the most entertaining fighters you'll see. And even though we took a long time to sign him, but because he's 36, but he's still very good, and as long as we have him, he's gonna be an entertaining guy. So definitely hyped about him, and this is gonna be a good fight because these are both stand-up guys. They're not gonna try to wrestle. I don't see either one of them attempting wrestling here. I mean, maybe Kevin Holland does if he gets hurt, but I think it's gonna be a war, a stand-up kickboxing battle. And with that, it's fair game. Anything could happen. And I think, Kevin Holland obviously coming off of a loss in his last fight. And, I don't know. I don't know if he's looking to be a title contender. I mean, I don't think he cares about the belt. I think he just cares about the money and making the fights and all that. And I think MVP, he's vocalized he wants to get to the title. And I think he wants to make a splash. He wants to get that knockout. And I think MVP is going to have a Michael Chandler type of entrance. I'm going to say round 1 knockout, stuns the world, MVP, voice crack. I think MVP, he's going to knock Kevin Holland out. And I think he's going to put UFC on notice. Obviously everyone's going to say, oh, this dude, he's from Bellator, he's no good. I think MVP is going to prove, he should have been here a long time ago, similar to Michael Chandler. I think he's going to make a splash. So that's my prediction for that fight. And moving on, the co-main event, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis. I think that's how you say it. Absolute banger of a fight. I don't think a lot of people know who Saint Denis is, man. The God of War. If you don't know, you're gonna know Saturday, because this dude comes to fight. Ever since his debut, once he moved down to lightweight where he should have been, dude's got 5 straight finishes. All entertaining fights. And I've been saying, this dude's pressured. He might have the most pressuring, brawling style in the division. And that's saying something, considering we have the BMF belt in this division. I think bro is the BMF, the way he fights. Dude is all action, all offense. He's just so fun to watch. If you don't know who he is, you gotta check him out, man. I know this is a huge step up in competition, but man, this dude is a beast, And you got Dustin Poirier, obviously coming off of a loss, a head kick loss too, which is kind of strange. He didn't expect Gaethje to do that, but yeah, now Dustin, another loss sets him back from the title, and he's 35 now. And I've been hearing, retirement rumors, things like that. I don't know if that's all true, but if he does lose this fight, who knows? And I don't like hearing of anything about retirement. When I hear about fighting, you shouldn't even be thinking about that if you're 100% committed. And I'm not saying he isn't committed, but I'm just saying, I feel like Benoit, he's just too much of a hungry dude. He just seems like he's just gonna put his life on the line for this. And Poirier, he's just been through so many wars, and I don't know if he can take this pressure that, he's going to get from Bernard Saint Denis. Like, I could see this ending in a, knockout or TKO finish. And I'm going to say, the God of War gets it done. I think, since it's a 5-round fight, I'm going to say round 3. Right in the sweet spot in the middle, round 3, he gets dusted out of there. I think he's just too crazy of a fighter. He's got like some of the best pressure in the UFC. And I think he's going to show up and he's going to show out. And the main event now, we got Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. The rivalry of the century. I think that, Sean O'Malley, he's a little bit delusional when he says, oh, he's undefeated, but he does have a point that Cheeto got lucky. I will say that. Cheeto got lucky with that leg kick. He was getting pieced up, which is something that's kind of common for him. He gets pieced up in a lot of his fights, win or lose, because he chooses to have low output and doesn't really try that much until the later rounds. And I think that's not going to be able to work against Sean O'Malley in this fight. Sean O'Malley, since that fight, has just improved so much. He utilizes his range beautifully. He just knows how to fight. He's a brilliant kickboxer. And I just think Cheeto hasn't evolved very much since that fight. He's still the same way, He loses rounds, he lets people get ahead on him, and then he gets a lucky leg kick, knockout, and it just takes away from it. And it's kind of frustrating watching him, knowing he has all this potential, but he doesn't always use it. Kind of similar to, last week with Rosenstrike. Bro barely throws, and he has a potential because he has devastating power if he would, go. But yeah, I think this is Sean O'Malley's fight. I think, that was a lucky leg kick. Even though O'Malley, you did lose the fight, you're not undefeated, bro. But you have a chance to get that win back. So you basically feel like you're undefeated because you beat the only guy that beat you. So yeah, I think Sean O'Malley gets it done. It's going to be extremely hard to knock out Cheeto because Cheeto's chin, bro's never been knocked down or finished. So it's going to be hard to knock him out. But I'm going to say he cracks his chin in the later rounds. I'm going to say round 4, he finally cracks bro's chin. And I think, O'Malley's going to be beating up on him, giving him a beating, and eventually Cheeto, it's going to be too much for him. He's going to get, finished. So those are my main card predictions. This is a banger card once again. This is up there, This is just like another teaser for UFC 300, bro. I feel like we're just getting all these great fighters. So yeah, I'm definitely pumped for this, and let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and just make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, peace.